Hey, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about finishing 2023 strong, which will make for a very, very happy new year in 2024. And keep watching to see the absolute best way to set up your real estate business so you'll never have the end of your blues again.
Hi, this is Real Estate with Elise and Jay.
And I'm Elise, and that's Jay. If you're a realtor, we would love to help you become the local market expert in your area. Our contact information is in the description.
That's right. If you have any questions, feel free to call, text, or email us, especially about this end of year stuff and business planning, because we've got a lot of resources to help you out. All right. So in the fourth quarter of the year, there's just a historical and kind of seasonal pattern that the number of homes sold drops. And typically that's by about 30% off of whatever it was in the peak of the summer, June, July, August. And that's typically because people are settling in for the holidays and getting ready to travel and have family over and all that kind of stuff. And also at the end of the year with all the holidays, we as realtors, we take time for ourselves more than we usually do. Like everybody else, we're going to go to parties and family get-togethers and festivities and all these things that are going on. So we get busy with the fun stuff, right? And so now when you combine that traditional seasonal dip along with our slower pace, that's kind of a recipe for disaster when it comes to being in a commission-only job, especially doing this right near the holidays, right? The downside to this is that it can really stop your momentum and your production coming off of those strong summer months, right? Because typically what happens is January, February are kind of slow, but March, April, it starts to ramp up because people start thinking about moving or they start putting their houses on the market. That way they can get a jump on what's happening for the summer. Summer months are always traditionally pretty big. People start getting those closings in August or getting under contract in August at the end of the summer. And so those closings will typically happen in September, early October. And that's when that summer rush really wears down as far as we're concerned as realtors. And then we get into October, November, December, that last quarter with the holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that coming up. And like I said, we tend to slow down during that point and our pipeline is fizzled out. And that's why the second thing we wanted to talk about was momentum, right? Because momentum is hard to build, but it's easy to lose. And like we said, we're coming off of those summer months, we got a lot of momentum, but then all of a sudden we hit the holidays and we kind of lose that momentum. And a lot of times it actually comes to a stop, right? And then we really pick up the pace in January to kind of launch the year. But what ends up happening is we didn't really do anything in November, December, maybe the last 6 weeks of the year. Then all of a sudden it's New Year's and we start working. But we all know in real estate, it takes 60 or 90 days to start seeing the fruits of your labor, right? So if we start in January, we're not seeing our pipeline full, we're not seeing contracts, we're not seeing closings again until March or April. And when you look at it that way, you're really removing about 4 months from a 12-month year. So you're trimming your year out by 1/3. And that's where we have those struggles. And that's why we talk about momentum. We probably all heard that analogy where it's like an airplane, right? An airplane uses 50% of its fuel to get off the ground and get up in the air until they reach that cruising altitude. And then once they hit the cruising altitude, they're just gliding along, almost burning no energy, just letting the aerodynamics do its thing. And that's what we're tending to do, except in real estate, we're kind of doing like take off land. And so we're really kind of burning ourselves out and making it a little bit tougher than it has to be. The third thing that I wanted to bring up was that the end of the year, there's still plenty of homes being bought and sold. So even during the holidays and the slow months, if you take our market, for example, in San Antonio, a very, very slow month could be somewhere around 1,500 homes sold. That would be super slow. Like on the high end, we're getting 3,000, 3,500 homes sold in those peak summer months. But let's just say it's super slow and it's 1,500 homes sold. That means that there's also a buy side for that opportunity, right? So we're looking at about 3,000 potential homes to be sold in the month of November and again in the month of December. We're only trying to get one or two of these deals, maybe three or four if you're kind of rolling along as a good agent. But think about that. How much would that change your year if you sold one or two houses in November and then again in December, right? Again, looking at that average agent that sells 4 to 6 houses, maybe 8 houses a year. If you did that, all of a sudden you'd be doubling your production in the last 2 months of the year. And then how great would that be for your 2024? When that started out, if you had a couple of closings in the pipeline already coming in January and February, that would totally change somebody's year. I mean, that's talking about adding 20, 30, maybe even $40,000 to your bottom line by keeping the ball rolling at the end of the year and keeping things going. And that's why we wanted to talk about that.
During the holidays, it's a fun work, actually. It doesn't feel like work to us. We've been doing it for a long time, so it's just fun. But we have closings during November, December, January. So it all works. I'll tell you that. So what we do is we have conversations with people. We're going to be going to different parties, different get-togethers. Conversation usually comes up about real estate. And then those parties that you're going to, you can get the people's information, and the next few days you have follow-up with them. You can take them to lunch or have a coffee with them. Again, another fun thing to do, and you're having conversations about real estate. And another fun thing that we like to do is pop buys. So we get our old clients, our new clients, friends and family, and we give them little gifts and we take them to their house and we leave them on their porch. And if they're home, we chat with them for a minute. So that's a really fun thing to do. We also like to do snail mail. I know that people say it's old, but we like to do it and it works. We send cards during the holidays. Sometimes they're not Christmas cards because everybody else is doing Christmas cards. So we'll do a New Year's card, Thanksgiving card, because not most people do those. So that makes us stand out there. This one actually is a little bit of work. The next couple are a little bit of work. You can check in with your prospects that you haven't checked in for a while. You check in with them, see how their year's gone, and then sometimes the conversation will lead to real estate. So another foot in your door there. And then this one, you can look at houses that have been on the market for 100 days plus. And if you have a buyer that's been slowing down during the holidays, you can have a conversation with that listing agent. Hey, how motivated is your seller? And da 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 da. And then you can get with your buyer and say, hey, there's a few houses here that I know that the sellers are motivated, and maybe you can get a good deal at the end of the year. For example, I have a buyer right now, and we found a house that was perfect for them. And it's the end of the year. The seller's motivated. So we got a really good deal, and he's super happy. And like I said, if this was peak season, this deal probably would not have happened. What we also do is CMAs for sellers that we've had in the past. We'll say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Did you know that you have X amount of equity in your home? No pressure, but just letting you know that. And if you're looking to sell in the near future, we're here. And at the end of the year is good for this because some of them are thinking about it. Also, we remind our buyers that it's the end of the year and the taxes are going to be due. And if they want us to run a CMA for them, either to fight their taxes or see how they're doing. And some people run their house 5+ years and they're like, well, we actually been thinking about maybe selling soon. So there you go again. Perfect. We also make videos about the holidays and that you're still working and that you're there for them. This has worked for us in the past that we've said that, and people said, hey, I just saw your video and see that you're working. I've got some questions for you. And you put that on your Facebook stories or your Instagram reels. We also like to do piggyback events. So you actually don't create the event. You just piggyback on something that's already existing, like going to the Riverwalk to see the lights. You can go to a little ice skating rink downtown or any little festive things that are around town. You don't have to create it. You just make a plan to go and invite people in your sphere that you worked with in the past or you want to in the future. So those are all really fun, pretty much not really difficult things to do. We enjoy doing them. So get to going.
Those are definitely good ways that you can keep the ball rolling during the holidays and just keep things from going to zero, right? Keep that momentum up. And like we promised at the beginning, to talk about the absolute best way to set up your real estate business so you never, ever, ever have the end of year blues again. So right now we're going to kind of reveal that and go over that. But the first thing I want to do is explain the real estate roller coaster. And for a lot of us in real estate, till we get it figured out, right? The roller coaster is we're kind of trudging uphill, boom, 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 working on leads and getting clients and doing the marketing that it takes to get a client to work with. And all of a sudden we have 1 or 2 clients that we're working with and we start going downhill and we get them under contract and we get to a closing. And boom, as soon as we get to the closing, we realize, hey, we don't have any new clients to work with. So we start marketing, going up that hill. And that's how that income goes up and down like that, just like the momentum that we were talking about before. So that's the real estate roller coaster. And really the way to get over that, it's just 3 big things that you need to do to take care of, especially now that it's being the end of year. The first thing is to do an end of year review for 2023. This is where you look at your business from just a data perspective. How many closings did you have? How many buyers did you work with versus sellers? How many leads did you have? You can break it down as detailed as you want, but some of the big ones that you definitely want to look at are where your leads are coming from, what percentage is closing, and then some of the big ideas of like how many transactions you closed, what was that sales volume, the GCI, which are all good kind of vanity metrics. But the big one is, what was your bring home pay for that, right? Because you want to have a nice return on investment. And the way that I look at that is for every dollar that we spend in our business, we want to be able to make back ideally $10 or $20. But to me, the minimum is $5 for every dollar we spend. I've heard of people that have spent $300,000 in business fees and marketing and advertising for a year. And sure, they're making $450,000, but when you shake it all out, they only made $75,000, $80,000. So why would you risk spending $300,000 to make $380,000, right? It's much better to spend $1,000 a month and bring in 2 or 3 closings a month and make, $10, $15, $20,000 a month, right? That's a good exchange. So that's what we're kind of looking for in that year-end review, some of the real data from our business. Then the next step is to set your goals for 2024 and plan out your next year, right? So when it comes to setting your goals, you want to follow that old acronym of being specific, have something that you can measure, make sure that it's attainable and reasonable to achieve, and that you put a timeline on it, right? So it's not enough to say, I want to make more money than I did last year. You have to say, how many buyers do you want to help? what time frame do you want to help them by, right? So having a goal of, I would like to make $10,000 a month by helping 2 families close on their transaction every month. That would be a goal that you could measure, that you could see, you can attain. Another good way to help with the goal setting is to get your family involved, your spouse, your partner, your kids, your friends. And really, when you start planning out the year, plan out your vacations, plan out the fun things you're going to do, plan out all the stuff that you can think of. Maybe you're going to need to go to a couple of conferences next year. So plan those out. And it also doesn't hurt to put those on a vision board where you can have pictures of you achieving the goals. Also, writing down your goals, like handwritten on a notepad. That way you can review them, maybe keep them in your pocket so you can review them on a daily basis. Those are all good ways to get that done. But writing your goals out by hand really helps tie it into your brain somehow. Having the vision board helps it mentally. And then just going through these exercises really gets you kind of thinking about how this is all going to work and how it's going to tie together. The third thing that you want to do is create a marketing plan. And I think just having a marketing plan would put you ahead of most other agents in the real estate field, right? But if you have a marketing plan that's also automated and has a personal touch, that's really the sweet spot, because then this is a way that you can bring in new business while you're working with the clients that you currently have. That way you kind of avoid those up and down real estate roller coaster events like we were talking about before. We would love to share our plan with you. That way you can rip it off and duplicate it. And we can even help you set one up for yourself. Like we can go through it and kind of help you with the exercise and give you some guidance if that would be better for you. But really now is the time to start planning those things out for next year so that you can finish this year strong and have a great running start into next year.
Hey guys, and if we can do it, you guys can do it. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you start doing it, it is like second nature. And it'll really help and boost your business. And if you would like to grow your real estate sales, build wealth, and have the life you dreamed of when you first got into real estate, we would love to help you get there. Again, our information is in the description.
We would love to help you. Just call us, text us, or email us, and we will set up some time to walk you through our business plan, help you set one up and personalize it for yourself, because we know that that really can help turn things around for people and really make a strong year and a good finish. Again, thanks for watching. And as we like to say,
Keep Austin weird.
Keep San Antonio cool.